The real. Walking to the gas station on that fractured khaki cantaloupe-colored sidewalk meant passing by the funeral home, an anachronistic building. Its Egyptian-inspired columns are a few inches beneath intricate window crowns with brackets and pediments. Cupolas are seemingly composed of bracketed cornices with drunken figures pointing at pedestrians. The figures pointing fingers seem to laugh at those who passed by the octagonal courtyard. The building was anachronistic due to the surrounding architecture. Silver sky rises that seem to be made entirely of pure crystalline glass, reflecting sun rays like some massive expanse vessel composed of enormous solar sails venturing off to some nearby universe composed of blue sky. There are modern hotels with cracked parking lots of a used charcoal hue. From the sidewalk in front of the shallow portico, with a port permanently ouvert, all one can see is a caliginous abyss. Sometimes, when I am staring into my screen at work, it begins to turn blank. They both think here that this keypad, with fading letters next to a box of Comfort Touch Kleenex mouchoir exists. I must pretend that in mind pasado we were friends. Even as the black screen fades, I try to remember that I followed him from the library on the second level to the golden dining hall. He didn't simply tolerate my eccentricities, my need to count every door handle and light switch. He laughed at me because I made farce, comic opera for him and her. I can't remember their names. I have to remember their names. When I forget, or rather remember, the facade fades like the alphanumeric keys on this keyboard that has vanished. The tissue box is gone. I awakened in a pyre, in a tornado, in a coffin, 6 feet out of reach and alone. This is my past. The reality they both think here, I must pretend does not exist. I blamed a child for this live burial, a child who, in trying to survive, hid in a coffin. He was only freed in his imagination. He imagined a world of marble and granite, Doric Soldan and temples, massive domed mosques, illustrated in turquoise calligraphy. After strolling down cracked Argyle streets, he'd enter fantasies, fantasies of mutual exchanges of friendship, fantasies of laughing wit, fantasies of friendship. He fooled himself. He forgot that he was in a coffin. Those facsimiles never let him forget. After a time of fun, comfort, and pleasure, those facsimiles reminded him where he was, nowhere, and who he was, nobody, and what he was, nothing. He never had friends. He made them up. He made them up to survive the near universal loathing he felt oozing from the eyes of people he was pretending were his friends. The reality that although he had to pretend he was liked, he was still just as horrible as he felt. Nothing is more honest than the meaninglessness of knowing the sheer honesty of the meaninglessness. Sadly, one cannot persist in the abyss. If I focus hard enough, I can pretend that the keyboard is real. Again, I can pretend that I am real and loved.